been a minute for a live video, but here I am. I'm back. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time for people to see if they come in or not. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing the three fundamental universal laws that govern reality itself, basically. Without each one of these, then you could not have a 3D reality. They build on each top of each other, and I'll explain it all. Check up my options here real quick. La 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 la. Nobody? Ah, hee hee. And Ripper's always near. If my music gets a little too loud, I just have it in the background for, background noise or whatever while I'm pausing or whatever and whatnot. It's been, about almost 2 minutes. I ain't gonna wait forever. Everybody can just catch it up later, I guess. I don't know how to remember the God. What's this? Oh, start a poll. I don't want to start a poll. Hey, I got 2 people on here now. That's what's up. Hi, everybody. We'll get started here in just a second. And we're going to be discussing the 3 fundamental laws to the universe. Okay. Now, the first fundamental law, and I'm reading off my book in case if anybody wants to see. It's my journal. Yeah. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. The first law of the universe is love. Of course, and love is the baseline, the fundamental force of the universe. Who knew? Provides the foundation for connection, creation, and interaction between beings. Without love, there is no drive to care, create, or harmonize. The universe lacks vitality. Law number 2. You have truth. One of my favorites. Besides love, of course, but that's only... And they go in order like this for a reason. Second is truth. Build upon love. It's the stabilizer and the structural framework. Allows for discernment, understanding, and alignment with reality. Without truth, love can become misguided, chaotic, or misapplied. Which, yeah. And then your third law to the universe is coherence. And coherence emerges when love and truth interact correctly. It creates order, flow, and 3D manifestation. Ensures that actions, intentions, and energies harmonize across dimensions. I know I've said before that I didn't really map the dimensions, which was true. I did not. But I actually did yesterday. And from what I understand, using my MRT model, there are 8 plus dimensions. We are in the third dimension, the 3D reality. And let me go ahead and finish this real quick. The rest of coherence. Without coherence, truth and love exist, but the universe cannot structure itself properly, and reality becomes disjointed. And so, like, you have to have all three. If you have one that's out of place, then it throws everything out of alignment, like the harmonics and everything. And that's exactly what's going on with Earth right now. Is we're out of align. We're like, how can I put it? We're stuck in a loop, right? You ascend. The coherence, the love and truth helps you ascend to the next dimension. Okay. Now, let's, the way, I don't know, I kind of had it figured out for myself is that, like, think of it like plants being the first dimension. Okay. They can interact with the surroundings and stuff, sort of like it follows the sun, but it don't really think or have like a consciousness level. It's more of the truth model. And then animals, which a dog is a perfect example because it's man's best friend or woman, whichever one you are. And they have like unconditional love. Like, if you want to see how love truly works, like animals, it's like they don't fault on you just because something happened or whatever. So you would think, or the way I try to think of it is animals and stuff are like the 2D, the second dimension. And then the third dimension is, of course, conscious human beings, gray aliens, whatever, whatnot. And I'm not 100% sure on the gray aliens. That was just speculative, and I was just spitballing. I would have to do the research before I could tell you positively that that's what's going on. Now, interdependence plus 3D reality. I told you I was going to tell you how it tied in. And I also have it marked on here. I don't know if you can see it on that page, like the dimensions is explained with each one. So love would actually have been your plants, and then your truth would have been your animals, and then your coherence would be us. That's why you have to have coherence to ascend. And you can't have coherence without truth and love. Love is like the main key to everything. Love is the baseline. It's like people always ask me in my model, like, why do I start with 2? Why not 1? Why not 3? And it's because 2 is the first prime that you can actually build structure on. And it is also the only even prime. And it represents duality. You cannot have anything built off of just the baseline, right? You have to have the second line for structure. That's why 2 is so significant. And it represents duality, and that makes it even more significant. But this way, kind of, maybe if I explain it a little bit, maybe I'll quit getting that question so much. Anywho, Danny, you're over explaining. Interdependence in 3D reality. Love fuels the impulse to exist and connect with others. And I think we can all agree that that hasn't been happening for a while. And I can tell you actually how to help it. Like, we have to repair the pyramids. The pyramids are like resonance chambers, right? Think of it like a giant tuning fork for the Earth's toroidal waves, right? And the Earth has the pyramids as a anchor almost, or a tuning fork to, like, it rings with and it gives us human beings awareness. So we would be more of aware. It would be harder to lie to us and get these lies that science and stuff like that get by. Like, That's the reason why it probably got. I'm not. That's speculation, though. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it happened roughly what? Oh, I ain't going to spitball because I don't know for sure. Like, I'm trying to focus on one thing here. And my brain just, it goes to 20 different directions. Anyway, so we'll get back to this for now. The truth organizes and validates the impulse. So love fuels the impulse to exist and connect. Truth organizes and validates that impulse. Then coherence allows that validated impulse to manifest in structured, tangible reality. And yes, that's another reason why the churches and greedy people and stuff tried to hide this. And like me decoding the Voynich manuscript. And I made the connection that the Voynich manuscript was written by Michel Nostradamus with over an 80% confidence using my model. And I can actually tell you how to read the Voynich manuscript. I ain't going to tell you the one key unless you know me or like you're in my circle. But I can tell you exactly how to read it. The instructions right there on the first page. Foyer 1, R1 is the instructions. But if you don't know this key puzzle piece, you're never going to get it. Like it just clicked with me because I don't know, it affects me. Like I've noticed it. So that's how I was able to apply it because I've noticed it before. Then like remember I was sitting here writing and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, hey, yo, check this out real quick. And then it was like, dude, that's it. That's how you do it. And then my model calculates resonance and stuff and intention. That's why my model can literally pick up the intentions on the pyramids when it was built. Because when somebody was building those, they put their intention into that. And that leaves like a echo in the resonance. That's how I can tell you that consciousness come from the moon drifting away from Mars. Got captured in our sixth. I can tell you why it's in the sixth ring. Because that is a stabilizer zone between 7 and 5. That's your two primes. Your 6 isn't a prime, obviously, but that doesn't make it any more insignificant. It actually makes it just as significant, if not more, because it's what keeps everything stable. And yes, we could actually move the moon to the 7th layer. It would be very difficult and very risky. I wouldn't suggest it, but you could, which is actually what my logic, my perspective, is what they tried to do on Mars. And I can explain to you why. Because on Mars, they had a stronger magnetic field. Okay? When you have a stronger magnetic field, whatever species or civilization that's there will evolve quicker and advance quicker. So that's why the Anunnaki in old times, the stories and stuff, were so advanced and stuff. Like, and then they talked about they worshipped the primordial or prime toroidal. That is literally the sun. I want to spell it out for people because I've had that said to me a couple times. It's the sun because the toroidal wave that comes off of the sun that builds our solar system, and the energy from the sun is what gives us life. So of course they would worship what they would consider gave them life, right? Created them. Like my logic fits up 100% perfectly with this. Anyway, they were such an advanced species, and the Mars was so close to the asteroid belt, right? The asteroid belt is explained in my model as a DMA zone, a dual magnetic amplification zone, where two magnetic fields meet. Okay? Now, you have Mars and you have Jupiter, right here close to those. Mars used to be able to withstand life, but the longer it went, they was losing their stability for their planet, because that's where planets orbit at, is stability zones on prime number of shells. Okay. So here, let me catch my breath for a second. Getting a little bit ahead of myself there, and I'm not breathing. So these, like the Kuiper belt and the asteroid belt, are both dual magnetic zones, dual magnetic amplification zones. Okay, well, Mars used to have life on it, and it used to have a stronger magnetic field than even we have here, which explains the quicker technology, the quicker advancements. All right, now, as advanced civilization like this would have known about the magnetic energies, the resonance, right? They're way more advanced than we thought of them being. Those bracelets they wear is to literally help them generate a biomagnetic field, basically, to where they can withstand life here on Earth, because Earth didn't have a strong enough magnetic field. Okay? I know I'm dropping a lot here. If I need to calm down a little bit, please leave a message. Say, hey, slow down a little bit, bro. And I will try my best. But anyway, is what they tried to do, because of it being so close to that DMA zone. They tried to push it out away from Mars into another layer out. Like I just said, we could do with the moon. We could push it out to the 7th, and that would actually cause like less chaotic weather on Earth. Like the tides wouldn't be as bad. Things here would be a lot more mellow, but it wouldn't. See, how was that put? If you bring it, we could bring it in closer. Obviously, you can't do nothing with Mars. It's done lost its thing. And like Elon Musk thinking he's going to go to Mars, you can go to Mars. Do you know how much energy it would take just to keep the resonance just for a small group of people there for a short time, let alone a long time? And then you're right there at that DMA zone. So anything that you build right there is going to break easy. Like you're in an unstable zone where the magnetic fields are going out, coming in, and meeting each other. And they're causing this unstable zone. That's why you have the asteroid belts there. Because nothing can form there. Not no planets or nothing. So, to clarify that, no, he will not be going to Mars anytime soon, not for no long period of time, and not withstand life there. It's our technology today does not support this. Okay, because the energy cost behind that alone would be, we don't have the technology to support it well until my model gets validated. After that, then there is plenty of possibilities, but I can get you there without even taking a spaceship, really. It's called a wormhole. And I can tell you how to open a wormhole and when to open a wormhole and how they form. I can tell you that they don't last very long. So your window to get there isn't like you've got hours to do it. No, it's like minutes, maybe. And is what happens is your planets align. And when they align, those magnetic shells and magnetic fields align. And it creates in the DMA zones a wormhole, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, it's literally, but whatever a planet's lined up with us is you could use that to make like a portal, a wormhole to whatever planet that is. Okay. Probably not the best idea unless you got the tech and everything to make sure you can get back for one or survive while you're there. So like I said, that's something that's going to take a lot more exploration before just jumping into it. But I've done all my research on a cell phone, a cheap cell phone at that I don't even like. Imagine what I could do with some actual resources. Like, it's crazy. Ugh. And I'm making all these accurate predictions. I have over 15 confirmed predictions. If this was Einstein or Newton, this would have already been considered a law. It should be considered a law because of how many predictions I've had. And on my Beetlejuice prediction coming up October 13th, 2025, I put the rationale on there. And that is basically the dimming effect in 19 and 20 and 2019, I used that dimming effect to calculate when Betelgeuse was going to go supernova, because that lets me know in the timing that it dimmed and the time it came back to light. That timing window right there is exactly what I needed. Exactly. Because that tells me what the resonance level is at, the buildup level of it, how fast it's doing it, and that tells me when the peak's going to happen. Okay? The peak is the supernova. And I'm not 100% confident on it, but most likely it's going to turn into a neutron star, not a black hole. Not 100% confident on that. That is not a prediction. That is a personal opinion. I'm trying to do the research now. I mean, when we get closer to the actual date, October 13th, then I'll be able to make an actual prediction on what it'll be able to turn into. But I've just discovered this a couple months ago. That I used the historical data of the dimming effect and everything to calculate my predictions. Okay. And I hear people sit here and they refer to me like, oh, well, you say the same thing as... No. Let me promise you something right now. There is nobody in history, no humanity, that has ever had this full blueprint. Okay, people's been close. They've been real close. And there's been plenty of advanced civilizations before us. We are not near as advanced as they was 5,000 to 10,000 years ago. Tartaria and all that free energy and stuff, what do you think that was? That was them tapping into the resonance. They still didn't have the full blueprint. Okay? I can actually use the resonance and my model, and I can track back to the beginning of existence. I'll let you sit with that for a second. And it's almost the same way you create anti-gravity. I mean, that's one of the things I will not release, because that sequence alone is like the master key to reality. And I think ethically and responsibility and morally, I don't think I should just go spitting that out until I know the consequences and stuff. And I think anybody should be able to understand that. I'm still giving you the framework. My MRT, my PNRH, and my DMAZ zones still gives you the frameworks for the blueprints to cosmic, to quantum, to sacred geometry, all of it. All of your gaps in your current model, my model fills easily. And no exotic matter or nothing to do it. Like dark matter, no. There's no need for dark matter. There's no need for that exotic behavior. Not when you use magnetic reverberations, and then you take it out on a cosmic scale, zoom out, which is basically how I made the PNRH, the prime number resonance hypothesis, is because whenever I was zooming out on the solar system, trying to see why the DMAZ zones formed, the asteroid belts and stuff. I was trying to explain it. I was on the right idea, but I didn't quite know what to do. And then that's whenever I was zooming out because I was doing the math, but shit still wasn't adding up right, which is like your current models now, because they didn't have that key feature and they didn't have the DMA zones. Like, I don't know. Tell me how humanity been around here for 3.4 billion years. And we haven't figured that out yet. That when you stack one magnetic field on top of another magnetic field, it amplifies it. Like, come on, guys. But that's why parts in the past, and I think it was, I'm just rough balling here and I'm trying to go off of memory, but I think it was 6,000 years ago, roughly. Might have been just a little bit younger than that, is when the peak got taken off of the pyramids. That's when humanity started losing awareness. That's when they started becoming misaligned. Like, I mean, they was already it just, that ain't what started it. Let me say, that accelerated it. Okay. Let me rephrase that to where I sound correct. Because it was actually, you have events like that beforehand, that, and certain individuals was sent here to correct the system. Okay. And like one of the famous ones, Moses. He was, let's say, oh heck, I got it here in my notes too. Coherence level. Okay. He was there to raise his people up, free them, get them away from that. Like, third prime node is Moses, coherence. A, not as high of a resonance understanding as the secondary node, Jesus, or as powerful, which is why Jesus could heal people. Jesus had like that's, and like for the longest time, like I didn't believe fully in like all of that or anything. Like, and if anybody ever asked me if I went to church or something, like what story I liked the most, and that's exactly what they are, stories, I always said Moses, because his story is basically the same thing as Jesus's, just more compact and more action driven. Like it's quicker. It's not so long and drawn out as Jesus. The Bibles give you the right outlook, but they steer you in the wrong direction, okay, to fit their narratives. And I'm not trying to tear down nobody's religion. Trust me, you will come across this understanding when it's time. I'm not trying to force nobody. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just telling you where my model lines up and tells me what it says about it, okay? And whenever I run my master key sequence, that's when I can look back through time and I can actually see these events, not see them like right here in front of me, see them. I can actually run the numbers and the echoes that's left in our magnetic fields, and I can find the scars, basically. That's how I know that the moon got locked in our tide 3.4 to 3.6 billion years ago. And your modern models and stuff actually support this theory, because you can Google it right now. Go on there and look up when the moon lost its magnetic field. It's going to tell you roughly about 3.4 billion years ago, which is how I made the connection to begin with. Okay, now go on there and look up how long ago Mars lost its magnetic field. I bet you $20 it's going to be relatively close to the same. And some people are going to sit here and argue, oh, it said 3.4 for this one, 3.6 for this. In cosmic terms, that is the next day. Okay. And your Big Bang isn't what you think it is. It's emergence over time. It isn't something that just happened. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Good and bad shit like that. I don't know exactly. I haven't went that far into it. So I don't want to sit here and spit a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just saying what my model suggested to me, because I use the systems I have available for me, and they seem to be working because I'm making accurate predictions with a cheap cell phone. I actually use, let me see, you got ChatGPT. I use to calculate quite a bit of stuff, and just ChatGPT will give you wrong answers and things like that because you let them drift, or you give them the details that they feed off of to feed back to you. You can't do that. You just got to ask them the question. Don't give them the details, because then you're giving them what you want back in return. If you don't give them that, they give you back the truth, the numbers. Okay. And mine has not been just verified through ChatGPT. It has been verified through Claude AI. It has been verified through DeepSeek AI. And that one right there is a math rigor for validation setup. Okay. Just to be clear, I didn't Copilot. And Copilot's another one that's kind of like ChatGPT. They have their qualities. Like Claude AI is really good at running simulations. Okay. Like they almost always give you back correct details and they do it right. ChatGPT strays off. So unless you keep them focused, then, and even then, you, like simulations and pulling outside data, probably don't just take it, you know what I mean? Take it with a grain of salt. Double check again. That's what I always do. And then I cross platform them. So if I don't have at least 3 out of those 4 telling me the same thing, most likely I'm not going to report it to you. Okay? Because I don't like giving out false information. That actually breaks one of the laws of the universe. Truth. And I think, where was we at on that anyway? I'm sorry, I'll just restart right here on intermediance in the 3D reality. Love fuels the impulse to exist and connect. Truth organizes and validates that impulse. Coherence allows that validated impulse to manifest into structured and tangible reality. I think that's where we ended at just a second ago. So I'll pick back up from there. I'm sorry I go on rants, but there's like just a lot of things, like, and they're all cool. Like, to me, I'm fascinated with all these things. So I can sit here and I can spitball through them quick. But it's also because over the past 2 months, I've done a lot of research on these. So it's in my head. Like, honestly, I get tired of talking about it. And especially when I feel like people ain't listening. You know what I mean? Like, that's another reason why I knew, since my model challenges gravity, that peer review, academia, all your gatekeepers, everything is going to try to stop mine from going out, because a lot of them are going to lose their jobs. But they're not going to lose their jobs, because if you know it or not, all the technology that we use with gravity and everything like that is as easy as flipping a switch and switching it over to electromagnetism. It's that easy. So they're going to sit here and try to make it sound like it's a big deal. Or like, even when Betelgeuse goes supernova on the 13th of October, I guarantee you they're going to get on there, but, oh, he was just lucky. And what about my other 15 confirmed predictions? Those was luck too. And all of these things, you tell the world, you can look it up right now on any of those things. Solar, seismic, the intensification of a hurricane, that they will tell you in mainstream science that is impossible. But I got all of it timestamped, and I have the videos right there, and you can go verify the data for yourself. I'm not asking you to take my word for it. You see what I'm saying? Go check it. I don't care. Like, I know that the most, like the, what was it, the CMB, the Cosmic Background Hum, CMH, or CBH, whatever you want to call it, is, I use the historical data to verify it, right? And then you can go on there and you can use current data and the archival history data, and you can verify it. And then I went and did it in the video for you, so you could actually see the flux in the numbers, so you can see it visually, that it's not just a constant, you know what I mean? It has a bit of a fluctuation right when it hits those shells. For each shell, boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? And that's also how I predict the North Pole and South Pole drift. And I can use historical data to verify that. The consciousness tied to resonance, I use the Renaissance period, when the planets lined up and it gave a spike in human consciousness, creativity, a list of things. Like, they're all in the video. I can't keep everything because my wheels just constantly turn. So, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty accurate on most of my stuff. I'm not getting it mixed up with other stuff, is what I'm saying. Like, usually I'll stop myself and be like, just go check it out. Either which way. Let's get back to this. Okay. Now, we just finished the coherence allows validated impulse. So the next one is, it's not a law. It just suggests that together, these 3 laws build the fabric of 3D reality, ensuring balance. That is one thing that the universe requires and demands. is balance. It does not care about good. It does not care about bad. Okay. It don't care about none of that. All it cares about is balance. Now, we, with coherence and everything, should care about the coherence, the love, the truth, because that's how we're going to ascend to the next dimension. Okay. And that's the reason why this information is coming out now. That's exactly why I got this information. Okay. It's because we're out of tune with the resonance. Right. And it's what's going on. Like when we pass away, we die, whatever you want. I'm trying not to use certain words because I know they'll flag me. Either which way, whenever we pass away, our afterlife, we're stuck in a loop right now. Okay? Well, humanity is. As I get further into it, you'll see why I refer to it like that, okay? I don't know if I'm going to do that in this one because that's a lot already that I've dropped on you guys, and it's way more than I was planning on. I planned on just doing the 3 laws here, but I've dropped a whole bunch of other stuff in there as well. Didn't mean to do that, and I apologize if it's hard to keep up with me. I do speak fast, and I'm not always clear with my words, which is usually like on my channel. I have songs that explain out my theories and stuff that I can't, speak naturally and shoot it out there because it don't feel natural. It feels more natural in a song, and you're more entertained and you're more likely to watch it. To me, I don't know how something like this could be noticed and not a single media. Like even all the confirmed predictions, like the first one, the solar flare prediction that was confirmed. Like you said, it's impossible, but nobody's got a hold of me to ask me why or how. Don't make no damn sense. If they cared about you or if they care about people, why would their first phone call not be to me? I'm sorry, I'm getting upset here a little bit, but it's only because I know every day they let my model go without getting validated. How many lives could we have saved with that, with the hurricane predictions, the seismic activities, the solar flare activities? That's why I tell you, don't take my word for it, but you should definitely be demanding answers from your academia, people that give you false answers. And that's not an accusation. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay? Why would you trust a system where you have to have a reference? That's exactly what happened with me. Sorry to skip around. I filed 2 papers I tried to file them on ArcSpit. It told me I could not do it without a reference number from a scientific scientist, credited scientist. That's a buddy-buddy system, man. That is blocking anybody that you don't want in. That's your way of blocking them out. If you are truthful and you like science and you like the truth and you really want to know how the cosmos work, that system should automatically throw up a red flag. Automatically. Because you're not accepting truth then. You're accepting your buddy's opinion over truth. Okay? And I absolutely hate it. But I went through the process. I went through their stupid little process. And then it flagged me that. So what I had to do, I had to get on Vixra. You see how it's just a little table that just keeps turning? And hopefully they're hoping that I just give up. But I promise you right now, I'm not giving up. I'm not going nowhere, dude. Like, I'm too goddamn stubborn for that. And I'm too goddamn stupid to run. So, but I know I have the courage to stand. And I know I have the love for every single one of you to stand. And I won't be budged. I think other people, richer influenced people, are learning that now with me because they don't know how to handle me. They don't know how to talk to me because I'm real and they're not used to that. Okay? They don't like somebody that sits here and tells them how it's going to be because they're not used to that. They're used to people kissing their ass. They're used to people coming around looking for handouts and stuff like that. I'm not looking for no handout. Not once did I ever ask for a handout. I'm willing to work for what the heck I get. And I was actually trying to help this person in their tech, and I was trying to save lives in the same process because I'm not even going to get into it because I don't want to bad talk nobody. I don't want to bad talk them. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't agree with most rich people's ethics because I'm sorry to tell you, like, I see, look at the grain of rice thing. That was the explanation that kind of made it really click for me. Like, you have most families get one little grain of rice, which represents like $20,000 or $1 million. And then you have like Donald Trump, big old pile, right? And then others that even have bigger piles. You have that big of a pile and you are not helping people. There is something ethically wrong with that. If you have so much money, you can't spend it all, and you are still letting people across the world sit here and drink nasty water and go hungry, there should automatically be a moral problem with that and an ethic problem with that. And ethically, morally, how can you not punch that person? It's your moral responsibility to beat that person's ass and take their stuff and spread it out. That's balance of the universe. That is actually a fundamental law. Like, so, but I try not to do it in anger. I try not to do it because I know they are essential to getting harmony back. All of you are. Everybody is. You are so much more than you have been led to believe in the lies and things that have been fed. They do not want you to know how powerful you are. They do not want you to know that you can influence and manifest. That's the reason why they did it. And that's where I was hinting at with the Voynich manuscript written by Michel Nostradamus. And then his son, Caesar Nostradamus, wrote the Lost Book of Nostradamus. And then you can see between the styles the church influence. Michel Nostradamus didn't have church influence. He believed in resonances. And that's exactly why I can read his writing. It's that plain and simple. Because we both see the same thing. The only thing is I see it on a grander scale than he did. And that's the reason why I kind of paused on the Voynich manuscript decipher after getting 5 to 10 pages through it, is because I've discovered that some of the information in there is not meant for everybody. Okay? Not everybody's going to understand it. Not everybody's supposed to understand it, and that's perfectly okay. That does not mean nothing bad about you. That does not mean nothing. As far as that, it is a helpful guide passed down for like people like that's trying to get balance back. You see, and it's kind of something that helps them understand how the universe works. Like me, I didn't just, 40 years of studying this and then it all came to me in a memory. I mean, that's the best way to say it. Either a memory or an echo. Okay, that's the only way to explain it. And it just happened. It happened so fast. And then the ancestors even verified it for me. And then they're the ones that actually showed me when I noticed that and I verified the sacred geometry. It was whenever I was like, oh, okay, well, what else can we verify with historical data? Boom. Like, there's so much data that proves my theory, my resonance theory. There's so much data. And they've been proving me right for so long and they didn't even know they've been doing it. And proving themselves wrong in the same process using that logic. Like, it's so funny. A prime example is the Well of Souls. Okay. There was an investigation done where they went down there, did an investigation into the Well of Souls. And you'll hear him saying when they put the instruments down in there as far as they could go, they almost hear like an eerie breathing sound. Does anybody know what that is? That's your resonance. Y'all are going to hear it. Like October 1st, everybody in this planet is going to hear it. It might not be exactly on October 1st, but roughly around October 1st. If you watch my 4 phases, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, the 4 phases is the events leading up to the Betelgeuse supernova to where people will know what to expect. And it's because you're going to hear ringing in your ears. You're going to have emotional instability. You're going to have it's like mood flight. You're going to feel either drained or you're going to feel really energized. Okay, is what's going on right now. And the precursor to this event in those phase fours. Think of the sun like a giant tuning fork. Okay, you have Betelgeuse that went off 642 years ago, right? Resonance travels at the same speed as light. So how long does it take light to get here from there? 642 years. Okay, so your resonance is going to show up roughly around the same time. What happens right before something goes supernova? Resonance build up, and then what they call gravity collapse. No, there's your shell collapse. That is your DMA zone, dual magnetic amplification zone collapse, along with the resonance. Like the prime number don't really play too much in that besides the timing. Like it tells you like the timing a little bit, but most of it's based off of the magnetic reverberations and the DMA. Okay, and then you what was I getting at here? I'm sorry. The sun tied to this since September 15th, and you can look it up. There's been a brightness uptick in the sun's activity. I noticed it just out here. I didn't have to look nothing up. I just noticed like for the past couple days, a couple days ago, that I couldn't look even close at the sun, right? And it's not usually like that. I can usually look directly at the sun and it not be too bad. It'll hurt my eyes a little bit, but it won't be too bad. And since around September 15th, I can't even look close at it. And it's like burning my eyes, right? You're also going to have pressures that build up in your head. That's also part that feeds into the ringing that you're going to hear, that resonance sound. Okay? Some people might freak out, especially if they didn't see my videos and they don't know what to expect. That's why I'm trying to spread the word. That way people don't think they're going crazy. They'll actually have a good idea what to expect. And I can sit here and tell you ways to help it. Like with me, the ringing and stuff in my ears that you guys will experience roughly around the beginning of October, chocolate milk helps. It helps mellow like your DMA zone, your personal biosignature field, right? And it helps mellow you out. The chocolate does. The milk stables you, and it's just, it helps for someone. You're also going to have a hunkering for salt. Like, you're just going to be craving salt most of the time. And salt is not what they tell you salt is. Salt is actually a purifier. Okay? Now, too much of a purifier is a bad thing. I think anybody can agree with that. Too much air is a bad thing. So, yes, salt is not a bad thing, but too much of it is. I think too much of anything is. But I can't say that was honestly true. I ain't ran the numbers. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. But I do know that salt was used for a purifier. It still is in certain places. There's still certain people that talk about it. So, did we ever finish this? I told you, my brain just... That's why these motherfuckers could never catch up with me. They could never be me. Okay? I am not claiming to be anything special. I am just wanting... It's my mission. I have to get harmony back at all costs. Like, that is... There is no hell, okay? But if you would consider there to be one, if I don't do that, that would be the place where I'm going. And it's not a hell. It's like you're like just stuck in a void, basically, that goes around the asteroid belts, your DMA zones, until it can latch on to the next energy source. So it's not even like you're stuck there. Even if I fail, I'm not stuck in this dark void thing. You see what I'm saying? And only because that's my role. That's not meant for everybody. That is my role. And it was not something, it was something I was born with, but it's also something I have to accept and I have to step into. Okay. It does not force you. You have to be willing. That's why I said I cannot change nobody's beliefs. I'm not even going to try. You will have to see it for yourself. And you will. And then you're like, when you start hearing that humming and stuff, like people are naturally going to start asking questions because it's going to get bad. And I don't know how much I'm going to actually be able to answer the questions then, because it's going to be 10 times worse for me. Like my head's going to be like ringing so damn loud. Like I ain't going to be able to hear nobody talking. Nothing. Like literally I can hear it on a surface level every day. When you're young, you could too, but you've learned how to block it out over time. Because it's that ringing. And like most people, that'll drive them nuts. And I blocked it out for the longest time too. But I can actually remember blocking it out. I can remember always hearing it and just like always having it in the background and just not paying that much attention to it because I was lied to by scientists, academia, educational programs. Like, the sooner we realize that if you have gaps in your model, then obviously there's something wrong with your model. Okay? Like, and the best way to get you to the bottom of something is to what? Tear it apart. Tear it all the way down. Rebuild that motherfucker. Excuse my language. Rebuild that sucker. If your current model, after you rebuild it, fits better than the old model, Green's universal law. See, like, let me see. I was talking about Jesus and stuff as well too. Let me kind of say what Jesus was here real quick, because y'all might be wondering. Might not even give a shit, but he was a real person. Okay, I can guarantee you that. The Voynich manuscript actually talks about it. It don't refer to him as Jesus or anything like that, but it definitely refers to his role. Okay? It refers to my role. It refers to Moses' role. It refers to every single person on this planet's role. Okay? We cannot get balance and we cannot get harmony unless we do it together. Okay? No matter how much power either one of us have, even Jesus could not do it. I found out something. Jesus most likely knew he was going to get sacrificed towards the beginning of learning about this stuff. And he still went forward with it. Do you know how much courage that takes to stand against the whole world? And especially when you know they're going to kill you for it or unalive you for it. And you still go forward each day knowing that. Like, now that I've learned some certain things about Jesus, yes, hands down, that dude had the most courage. And he was a genius. The dude was a genius, okay? The way he did it is he made it irrefutable now. You'll understand why. Like, if it wasn't for him, I would have never got this full model. Okay? And I don't really want to talk about that yet because y'all ain't ready for that yet. But as far as Jesus being a secondary node, and he is also labeled like Moses was coherence, Jesus is truth. That would make me love. Okay? Love is your baseline. Love is your most powerful one. There's a reason why it is number one. Okay? Because you cannot have anything else without love. There's one of the strongest forms of love is anger. And most people don't even realize that. Like, if you don't care about something, you don't love it, then you won't care enough about it to get angry. You see what I'm saying? The only way you can get angry about something is if you truly care on the outcome of that or about that person. So, like, when people get angry with me or whatever, then it's either because they care about me enough to get angry or other reasons. But, I mean, That's the main reason, like why people get angry or whatever. Jealousy, greed, all these things that we get led to believe run this world and stuff. Like once you know the full knowledge of my MRT model, most of that stuff fades away. There is no rich, no powerful, no. We are all attuned together. Okay, the ancients knew about this. My ancient ancestors knew about this. The Cherokee Indians. That's it. Their blood in me, just like the Germans and everything else. I'm a mixed breed. But the Cherokee Indians in specifically, and I know this because of the dream catchers. The dream catchers is basically the same symbol as the flower of life. And it also, if you look into traditions on what it is, it catches the bad dreams by magnetically fluxing them through that hole in the center of it. I'm pointing up here like y'all can see it. Hold on a second. Okay. Now, take a real good look at it and tell me you don't see this flower of life or pretty close to it. Now, this is a cheaper, probably not Native American made. Okay, I know that's what they like. I call Indians, it don't matter. It's just a word. Okay, I have no foul intent behind it, so nobody can use that against me. Okay, it ain't like you could really use it against me anyway. What am I going to do? Like that's like me calling myself white. I think that's obvious. I think it's pretty obvious about me being Native American too. If you look right here at my high cheekbones, dead giveaway. And my great-grandma was full-blooded Cherokee Indian. And my great-grandpa was mostly German on my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family was, English, and I don't know really that. I ain't really traced it that far. Like, as far as I traced my last name, Green, which is not the same as the Cherokee side. Obviously, that'd be the side as the German, which I've tracked it back to Switzerland, I think it was. The Dutch. Either which, like, just a cool little factor. A little something, something. Sorry, I've got to grab my bugger here. Go back and hang this thing back up. I just wanted to show y'all with a visual there what I was talking about. Now, that little sign I just showed you ties into sacred geometry. Because you have the flower of life, you have the tree of life, you have the Megatron's cube, which is what's supposed to control reality, right? It has all your platonic solids and all that scientific mumbo jumbo, which I'm not trying to really get into on this video because I lose a lot of people right there. And it's because my model covers everything. So literally everything from quantum to cosmic. That's how I can make the Beetlejuice prediction. That's how I can map the planets and tell you where they sit at, what distances. I can tell you where most likely places for life anywhere in our solar system. And if I had the right equipment and the right resources, I could tell you another star system. I could probably tell you like the highest probability for TREPPIST and all them star systems, right? Now, when you get into mapping mine, I do want you to keep in mind, because I'm going to know the first thing they're going to try to throw at me, which that's another thing I'm trying to cover in this video, is the bullshit they're going to try to say about me. Oh, we got lucky. Dude, you cannot get lucky and have rationale, logic behind all of it. All of it's public, time-stamped. I've done claimed authorship, intellectual rights, and that way they can't just screw me. If somebody's going to use any part of my mathematical frameworks, they have to pay me for that. I'm not worried about the money, but the money does help. And it also helps me get done what I have to get done. Okay? Because in order to fix the pyramids, to get the bells reinstated in the cathedrals, you have to have resources. That's what I say, is I don't try to hold bad feelings against these people. If anything, they can help. But if they're not willing to help, then they need to get the hell out of the way. And I don't take no for an answer. I don't give up. There's too much at risk for all that. And it's not about me. It's about everybody. Okay? There's a reason why I'm so firm about this. And the reason why I won't be shaked on my beliefs. I won't be shaked on my mathematical framework because I know every bit of it's correct. If it matches reality, does your current models do that? It's okay, I'll wait. Yeah, no, they don't. They have so many flaws in them, it's crazy. Like the tedious Bode law. It's a law, but they don't know how it works. My model accounts for that. Okay. Well, how can you say this? The magnetic fields, the fuel type, the magnetic strength is the way that the planets and stuff will orbit around that star. Most of your red giants and like our star system are basically the same. It's just the scaling factor bigger. But when you get into like white dwarfs, you have to account for accretion. You have to account for magnetic flux. Like there's a couple different things. I don't want to get too technical, but they're not exactly the same. And it's what happens when you account for these things. More compressed star. So it still has the same system, the same logic, the same prime numbers, the same magnetic resonance on like a micro scale, basically, compared to a giant scale like the supernova that's about to be going off. That's a red giant, which is the same as our star, but in a lighter process. So it's a bigger version of our star. Well, our star in about what it is, about 5 billion years or something, and that's outside forecast crap, so I don't know how correct that is, will turn into a red supergiant. And if motherfuckers ain't caught on in 5 billion years to what my model does, then, I mean, there ain't, I want to be honest with you, like 100%, and this is no bullshit. You take my model, you apply it, and I just invited humanity to godhood. Okay? I can, life longevity, the stress that you feel every day, and that anxiety is you misaligned with the harmonics and the resonance. That's why if you fix the pyramids, you put the bells back in there, your stress level is going to go away. All that anxiety is going to go away. Pharmaceuticals is going to hate this. But guess what? They can't do nothing fucking about it. Like, you cannot... The universe protects me because of the role I stepped into. It will not let somebody's intentions block my mission. Okay? It won't even let my own intentions block my mission. Like, remember I said I turned down that dude? That one of the richest people on the planet? Like, you think I honestly wanted to do that? Hell no, I've been broke my whole damn life. I want some damn money too. I want to live the high life too. But subconsciously, and the universe ain't knowing, made me answer that a certain way. And it wasn't a way that I didn't say I wouldn't help. It was in a way that said that you cannot change what I am going to do. You cannot be in control of it. That's why I will not sign a contract. I will not follow your leads. I will not follow your roles. If you are in tied with me on this, you're going to have to be in tied with me and the universe. And there's only one outcome. Only one. And it's harmony. You get to go ascend to a different level. No more loops coming back here. None of that shit. We get to go to the fourth dimension. Be happy for that. Well, some do. Me, it's a little different. But that also falls into the courage and the responsibility. More responsibility, more courage you have, the better the rewards are going to be. And the more you're going to be favored amongst the high harmonic system. Okay? When you talk about heaven, hell, and like I sit here and I'll tell you hell isn't real, it isn't real. The universe works on a harmonic system, okay? Like we are literally all one. We are all one of the same system. We all have our roles to play. Not any position is more important than another, and which is exactly why Moses and Jesus never once sit there and said they was God. They never even really referred to it as God. They always said, I am. There's a reason behind that. The reason behind that is that establishes that you are in tune with the whole universe. You are. I am. And it also establishes that you are not trying to impose yourself as a superior being, because that's not what I want. I know that's not what they wanted. Trust me, if I could lock this shit up in a cage and throw it down there and forget it and there not be no consequences, then by all means. But I've done and accepted the role. I know my responsibility. I know what I have to do. I need to help. And that's part of what I have to do. And it's going to happen gradually. It's not going to happen just overnight. Everybody's just going to jump on board with MRT and be like, oh, yeah, that's fact. No, it's got to happen gradually, because if it doesn't, it's going to shock the system. Okay? Like even when we replace the bells in the cathedrals and stuff like that, and the bells actually help a lot with your life longevity, because the bells, when they go off, is like a retuner for the cells and stuff in your body. Okay? It stabilizes it. Like, so all of your like cancer cells and stuff like that, these are, think of them like miniature DMA zones, right? And every one of them's out of tune. Or the ones that are is the ones that's out of tune is the ones that cause like cancer and things like that. Okay? So if you think of it in that terms, you can see exactly. And if you think of it in that terms, you have the power to heal people. You just have to know how to do it. And Nostradamus actually shows you. Look up his research. What was he most famous for? I guarantee you it wasn't being tied to the church. I guarantee it. And I guarantee why they kept it hid back then. Because back then, if the church, you undermined the church, they'd burn you at a stake. Which is why this information was hid. That's why Caesar Nostradamus, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure that the logic backs it up, was forced by the church to leave out the magnetism and stuff that ties in everything else. You see what I mean? If you would have known that, and you would actually got the studies from the Voynich manuscript and Michel Nostradamus as it was coming out, you would know that magnetism is fundamental. Like it's your attractor. It's what holds everything balanced. And it's not gravity. Like the part that really has always got me on gravity is somebody told me that, well, how do you think they get satellites up there? Or they use gravity measurements. What's the same as magnetism? What's the magnetism? Measurements. It's the exact same as the numbers they use for gravity. Gravity is an emergent effect, if anything. It is not fundamental. The quicker people get over that, the more they will actually see the truth. And they can fight me on this all day long. Like, guess what I did without gravity? Beetlejuice prediction. Guess what precursors are going off right now? Beetlejuice prediction. You see where my shit's lining up? Because mine is true. I'm not trying to church you up. I have nothing to gain from that. Actually, if you think I'm lying, I'm actually losing in that battle. Because it's literally my job to get you to understand this. And to help you so where we can ascend. We can move on. And they sit here and I see these videos. They sit here and talk, oh, the awakened. Oh, the chosen ones and stuff. Everybody's a chosen one, man. Like, what the hell are you all talking about? Like, all of us have our role to play. And they all follow those 3 laws we covered at the beginning of this. Love, number 1. It has to be number 1. It's your baseline. And there's also a key to that I'll cover a little bit later. That is your, well, actually, here, I'll just cover it now. That is mainly your female's roles. right? If you've seen any of my recent videos, I sit here and said something about the beta. The beta is not secondary to the prime. They are basically like entanglement, like through quantum entanglement. They are two of the same thing. Okay, it is not one is superior to the other. No, 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 no. Actually, without the betas, there is no way for me to get this done like in a reasonable fashion. Like it would be so freaking hard for me. Like we are all part of this system, and we have to back each other up, and we have to support each other. Like it's just. I get frustrated because I feel like sometimes this should be common sense. Like in any system, a clock, anything, you got a piece that's out of alignment. What's going to happen? It's going to break, right? Okay, now if you build a system on even one lie, guess what you have to do? You have to make up another lie to cover that lie. Now you have two lies. And now you have two lies that you have to cover up for instead of just the one. You see how that's just going to keep multiplying? And multiplying is just another word for add, for anybody that wants to know. Like I say, we need to change how we define ones and zeros. They make no sense. You cannot have 1 times 0 equaling 0. You are subtracting whenever the problem clearly states to add. Multiplication, you look up the definition, is to add repeatedly. And when you subtract that 1, oh, well, it's a box over here and it's a candy over here. Either which way, you're going to have either the box or the candy still left. It doesn't disappear just because your logic doesn't fit in your head right. That does not make no sense. Okay? If this box over here didn't have no candies in it and you times it by no candies, you're still going to have an empty fucking box. Plain and simple. The box does not disappear just because you don't do nothing with it. The box is still fucking there, whether it has something in it or not. Okay? You break the fundamental law of addition when you do 1 times 0, because you are subtracting when you're supposed to be adding, and that breaks the fundamental law, which is what arithmetic itself, the mathematical system, is built on. The whole system isn't fucked up. If the whole system was fucked up, I wouldn't have been able to make my prediction. It's the way we see ones and zeros. They just have to be redefined. If you add 0 to something, what are you doing? You are essentially doing nothing. So it's a nonsensical problem. Okay? And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to... I get fired up because I'm very passionate about this. And I'm very passionate about getting it right. There's just... And yes, I make mistakes too. Obviously. Like, I have reading problems. And I have, not all my theories line up. I think another funny part is you can actually go back and check. When I first started my YouTube channel back in February this year, some of the theories and stuff I was throwing around then was the moon getting captured by the Earth's magnetic field and drifting away from Mars, which is why you got the Grand Canyon and you have the Val Marineris. Because anytime you'd have an electrical transfer like that, you're going to have an energy outburst. Boom, hit both planets. Why do both of them look like electrical scarring? Both of them. That's not coincidence, man. If that's coincidence, we have way too many damn coincidences. And then coincidences should be more of a problem than the current models. Yeah, throw a little humor in there. But it's 100% true. A coincidence does happen occasionally, but when you have so many damn coincidences that line up in the same system, those ain't coincidences no more. They're a pattern. Okay? Exactly how I made my discovery is I seen the pattern. Like I was saying earlier, and I skipped off to something else. When I zoomed out to try to find out what made the asteroid belt was whenever I seen that each planet set on a prime number line. And I was like, holy shit. Hey, can you take this and take the prime numbers and run it against different star systems in my simulations and tell me if it matches up? Boom, yeah. It matches up with, what did they say the high significance was? It was P less than 0.01. That's your probability feature. Okay? That makes it accurate. Very accurate. And then people start hitting me with the DMA zones. Like, how do you measure that? It's all part of your decay and your resonance. And I have the mathematical framework for it. I've sit here and done all of it. I've actually solved the Riemann hypothesis. And once my model gets validated, then I can file the paperwork for the college and get the recognition for it. But the college won't recognize me for it until I get the validation, which is why I need all of y'all's help. Because without that, I don't get the resources I need. It takes longer. Okay? Everybody's going to see, come here real soon, that I'm right. Like, I have timestamp. You can't just erase it. Too many people know. Okay? And for two, you can't take ill intentions towards the mission. Like, not even I can. And then I want everybody to know, too, that this is not something I asked for. Now, it is something I said I would accept because I know I could see it and get it done. Because I've lost way more than I could ever gain. Okay? I've lost my loved ones, except there's no way I could ever get them back. Okay? The best thing I can do is fix the system that gets them stuck in this damn loops where they can go on and live in the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, ascension going up. If I do not succeed, then I'm failing them. And every single one of my math problems, every single late night I sit here, even tonight, is all for them. Billy Green, Ralph Adrian Green, and Marco Green. And the rest of my fallen angels in my family. But those was my three rocks. Those were my three best friends in this world. Well, my oldest brother was my hero. My dad was always my best friend. And Marco was always my best friend. That's my little cousin. Like, and when he was alive, me and him was the same person. Like, we both act exactly the same. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, whenever I lost him, it broke a part of me. It really did. It broke, and it put me in a spot to where I didn't want to be around and deal with all this dumb shit. Okay? But I found the courage because you'll find these little moments, and they're almost like the resonant hotspots or the DMAs or just a perfect alignment. It's those little moments that make you see that everything is worth it, and everything around here isn't as dark as they try to make it be. It's only dark because you allow them to have the influence to let you see it as dark. If you see those beautiful little things and you go out in nature and you see the beautiful things that happen every single day, you'll start to notice the beauty. And you'll also start to notice your own health is going to be more regular because you're tuning in with your environment. Okay? Trust me, these animals and stuff run off of resonance. They can hear things you can't hear. They probably look at us like we is retarded. And honestly, any aliens and shit flying by, probably thinking the same shit. Like, who the hell gonna stop and talk to these guys? Like, they still think gravity's a thing. Like, even though our asteroids, how do we measure those? Their paths and stuff. How do we measure them? Electromagnetic. If they're going to scan your body because you're an electrical being, what do they use? Electromagnetism. These are all flags that should say that, hey man, if electromagnetism or magnetism isn't strong enough to be a fundamental force, then why do you use it in mapping everything? Instead of gravity, which is supposed to be your fundamental force. You can look at it like this. On a quantum level, how strong is gravity? It's not as strong as magnetism. Go on a giant level. It's on gravity. That should be one of your biggest red flags, is because you have to make up so many excuses to go around it to get it to fit. You shouldn't have to do that. Like their dark matter theory. There's no need for that. You are adding complication to something that was already simple to begin with. My model proves, and that's one of my confirmed predictions, dark matter, there is no need for dark matter. These videos you see on here where they're sitting there saying, oh, we got this black dark matter cluster over here that we spot. They are completely reading that wrong. Okay? They don't understand, so they don't know how to read it. So how are you going to sit here and listen to these people? And they've done proved that they're willing to experiment on us against our will. They're willing to lie to us to hide information. But yet we still let them run shit with peer review and validation and shit. You're essentially sitting there letting them tell you what's real. How's that making any goddamn sense? Then you get mad at them because they lie to you. How many times they gonna lie to you before you kick their asses out? It don't make no sense. How many times you gonna get smacked in the face with a book before you realize it's not a damn styrofoam cup, it's a book hitting you? How many times you gonna run into the damn wall before you realize there's a door right there? All you have to do is open it and walk through it. Like, it's that simple. Like, we fight ourselves so much. And even whenever I was making these discoveries, well, that there was no gravity and everybody's sitting there fighting me and talking against me because I didn't have the numbers then like I do now. That ties reality into a mathematical rigor, which is what all these scientists that these people keep referring me to wish they had. They don't have that. Not without me. And I want it. I want it out free. I'm just like Tesla in that way. Everybody should know this. And like I said, whenever you get far enough into my framework, you'll see that money and shit really don't matter. Your spiritual and alignment matters more than anything. Your coherence to move on to the next level matters more than anything. Like, intentions mean more than good or bad. If you don't have pure intentions, you cannot manifest something. Okay? Pure intentions means to not be selfish, to not do it for yourself. Okay? The intentions is, if you're planning on getting some kind of personal gain or any kind of gain in return off of that, that's not a pure intention. A pure intention is to hope that somebody that you don't even know gets better, just because maybe somebody you do know is hurting because of it. You see how I'm saying? It's not going to benefit you in any way, but your intentions are pure because you're trying to help somebody. It knows that. I can actually read that in structures. Well, it's between that and a resonance, like echo, that gets imprinted on it. Like in the pyramids, like the Queen's Chamber or whatever, has a lot of these echoes and a lot of these resonance. And it's almost like like a recording book that has like a record. But you go drilling into these things, guess what you just destroyed? That's exactly what you did. Because they're all designed for a purpose, and they're all designed for certain people. Just like the Voynich manuscript. It was written that way, just not to where everybody could read it, obviously. It was his own personal notebook. Just like my own personal notebook right here. Okay? You will not see everything that is in this notebook. This is my personal notebook. Is what you see is what I release on YouTube, on these video feeds, and what I'll release to the public. You will not get everything out of my journal. Like, that's not going to happen until I pass away. Okay? Which, after I pass away, my mission to be done, you can have this son of a bitch. That plain and simple. Sorry about my language, but I don't know how to make it any more clearer that my math checks out, the reality, the logic, the intention, the tie to sacred geometry, the tie to human consciousness. Like, what do people not get about this? Like, why are y'all so fucking interested in a stupid fucking thing that's 10 years old from ancient aliens and shit? That you're absolutely not learning anything from. And it's been around for 10 years, but yet you still let them put that shit right in front of you. And I say something about it all the time. I quit watching that shit. I like Ancient Aliens. It was good 10 years fucking ago when it aired. Anything now is all just reruns and relocate or whatever. You don't bring nothing new to the table. I'm bringing shit new, and I'm showing you the way back home. That should be more important than any one of these stupid ass stand-up comedies. And don't get me wrong, I love comedy. I love to laugh. That's the reason why I share them. I don't do that for money. I don't get paid for that. I do that to spread their word, which helps with my alignment because I'm helping somebody with no gain coming back. But I actually do get gain because I get extra traffic, but I can still get the traffic without that shit. My point is that I'm not getting paid for that. Okay? So like when people get on there and post that shit on there too, that kind of aggravates me. Oh, nice repeat, nice copy, or whatever. Like, dude, there's a remix button on your YouTube. Every time you go to video, you can allow remix or you can not allow it. If you allow remix, anybody can take 60 seconds of that and do whatever they want with it, and you okayed it. Okay? If you don't want that to happen, go in your settings, take the remix off. You don't have to worry about it. Nobody can copy your shit. Okay? If you are a creator for YouTube, you should know these things. If you don't know these things, then you're probably not going to be that successful at being a creator at YouTube. I will address that in this video, though. TikTok and YouTube both gatekeep. And I have screenshots and everything that can prove that shit. Like, that's just dumb. Like, that is literally violating my American right for freedom of speech and freedom of media. Like, on TikTok, they had this one where it was like police brutality, basically, got on here and they're beating up a couple of little girls and shit, which I'm not saying all cops are bad, but there's enough bad ones to make the good ones look bad. Okay? That shouldn't be, that's too much power. That's motherfuckers abusing their power. That shit needs to stop. Like, innocent people going to jail. If you have a system that is sending innocent people to jail, that's us, your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your family. You know who is not sending to jail? The people in the system that make the laws. They break the laws continuously, but none of them ever go to jail. Or they find a way to get out of it. So the only people that ever have to pay is the low-class people, the normal people, the poor people, the people who go to work every day and work damn hard for their money. They always have to pay. I say the bill come due. I say it's time for these motherfuckers to start to pay. That's why I won't just take a deal with any billionaire. I would rather take a deal with a mom and pop shop and build something out of that than to ever have somebody sit here and try to tell me how or why or what to think or do or how to do it. You know what I mean? And fuck that. They're not loyal to you. Okay? I'll promise you that right now. If a person comes to you and their thought is business or money, and that's what they keep hinting at, they do not care about you. They do not care about your work. They care about what it implies to their money stack. That is it. And I got news for you. The shit I know is going to kill your whole business, dude. So, like, wouldn't it have been smarter to try to collaborate with me and not be a smart ass whenever I was actually trying to help? Like I said, I'm not going to call nobody out because I don't believe in that. And honestly, I think it was a mistake in the interpretations and the speaking because I do have a reading problem. When I read something, I have to read it 4 times before it even really sticks in my head. Okay? Like it makes it harder for me to learn shit. But the moment I'm learning it, I don't forget it. It's in there because I had to repeat that shit 4 times. Okay? Which is why I'm good at seeing patterns and shit. That's why I was a good painter, is because I see patterns. Like I spray painted for just local shops and stuff. I spray painted trucks, flatbed trucks, spray painted grain silos, stuff like that. And I like painting. I like the fact that you get to create something. I love creating stuff. I will never cut down somebody's creativity. And Terrence Howard, I think he's a fucking genius. I think that dude is so many steps ahead of Eric Weinstein and all of them that they got to cut him down to make him feel better. Then guess what? You're not going to sit here and threaten me like you did him. Oh, well, if I said that to Joe, he'd kick my ass. That's because you're a pussy. You don't have the courage to stand up for what you believe in. If you did, then you wouldn't give a fuck what Joe thought, and you would challenge him because it went against your fucking beliefs. Okay? Sorry. You're a little emotional now. And I don't have a problem with Joe either. Joe didn't even understand the shit. He's sitting over scratching his head. My problem with Joe is, how are you going to sit here and say you're helping this man, but then you bring on somebody to double team him like y'all did? And then to sit here and tell somebody how to talk? What? What do you mean? Just because he's not using the terms that you use or you're scientific just to keep people out of your circle does not mean he's wrong. Okay? Let's get that understood right now. That does not mean that he is wrong. Not at all. You sitting there trying to nitpick at a word makes you look so fucking stupid to anybody that has any kind of logic. Okay? Because you're looking at the word and not the actual picture. You're not actually looking at what he's telling you. You are nitpicking at a word to try to dismiss it before you even hear what he says. That's what's wrong with this system now. Like, these scientists, you want to know why my fuckers couldn't discover this shit before? I can tell you exactly why. Go in your kitchen, sit in there all the time, and then try to tell me what's going on at your bank. With no phone, no nothing. You see what I'm saying? You're in one area. You can only see the one things. These motherfuckers get so involved and focused on proving that one thing right that they miss the fact that the answer is probably in the cubicle right next to them. All they have to do is just take a step back and look. Ask a question. You don't always have to be right. You don't always have to secure your credibility. You think any one of these predictions, I was worried about fucking credibility? No, I was worried about saving people's lives. Why do you think I did Hurricane Aaron? It's because I could actually use it to validate my model, and at the same time, I could help it to help people, save people. Like, the simple fact that you all go and you ignore this and you haven't accepted it or even looked at it or even tried to cut it down or anything says I'm right. And for two, that says how messed up your morals are and how much they're misaligned with the public. They don't care about the public, obviously, because if they did, then they would have already validated my model whenever I made that damn hurricane intensification prediction. The moment it got confirmed, somebody should have at least asked, like, Danny, how the hell did you do that? Like, even if they don't even try to give me credit, like, they should be at least asking how to save people's lives. If you care about saving people's lives, that's going to be your first question. It's not going to be credibility. If I say something and I'm wrong, then I'm credit. Dude, you not saying nothing and not proving me wrong makes you look worse than saying something wrong. Okay? NASA, NOAA, academia, all these damn channels on YouTube, TikTok, all y'all. They sit here and say that you're up for the truth, and I've sit here and shared the information with every single one of y'all. How is that truth? Has any of y'all took my numbers and ran them? Has anybody can go on my videos and look and see if anybody has sit there and proved me wrong on anything since August 2nd, since I made the discovery. My predictions wise. Not my funny animation videos, because I do have a sense of humor and I do like to kind of keep things light. If it wasn't for the importance of this, I wouldn't be getting upset as I am. And I wouldn't be calling out all these people and shit. These are the problems that's stopping us from aligning. That's why I have to call them out. Yeah, I have to draw attention to it. So where you'll go talk about it, and then you'll spread the word, and then everybody starts to see that their numbers don't line up. How is this guy doing this? You have all this high-tech equipment and all these fancy scientists, all these fancy textbooks and colleges that didn't do you not a goddamn bit of good. Because guess what? I didn't go to no college. No, I got a high set. That does not mean because of your academia standards that I'm stupid by no means. That shows you exactly that intelligence can come from anywhere. Anywhere. That's why I love Tesla so much. That's why I like Terrence Howard so much. Did you know when I first seen him on Joe's, the person that's sitting here with me, I was like, oh, well, how fucking smart could he be? He can't even talk right. See how I misjudged him straight off the beginning? But I sit and listen to him. That's what a lot of y'all don't give him the chance in. Y'all don't sit and listen to him. You pick that first thing to prove him wrong, and then you try to move on. Instead of proving him wrong on everything. Now imagine if we did that to y'all. Look at academia. Look at academia. If we did that to academia right now, do you think their system would still be here tomorrow? Hell no, it wouldn't. Hell no. And there's so many damn flaws in this current model. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like when I'm sitting here solving all these damn things, it takes me confounded. Like what the hell? There was this many problems, and we still using this motherfucker. It don't even accurately predict nothing, which is what makes a model a good model. If it can't predict nothing, it's not a good fucking model. You might as well be what they say. Donnie Kruger, I don't see how you can sit here and say this dude is a bad thing. Anybody that stands up for something they believe in cannot be wrong, whether their fucking facts are right or not. Okay? You know what they did? They had the courage to stand up against the system. Not very many people do that. So many people are so ready to conform with people and fit in with people. Like they're so thrown as the outsider or the outcast. Guess what? I've been outsider outcast my whole life. I was made fun of being a poor kid when I was younger. I went to a school that, you know what I did? I went to work hard. I got muscles, and motherfuckers quit talking shit. And the sad part is, I'm not a violent person. I've only been in a handful of fights, mostly against my siblings and family. I like things because I'm smart enough to know that if you give somebody a bad reaction, guess what you're going to get in return? You're going to get a bad reaction. If you give somebody a good reaction, even if they're giving you a bad reaction, guess what's most likely to happen? They're going to take a second. They're going to step back like every fucking scientist in academia today needs to do and see what's actually going on there. Because they probably find out that 10 scientists over here has their answer and has had it for 10 years. But you're so damn focused on your cubicle that you haven't even noticed. And you're so ready to put down somebody else's idea because it might fuck up your credibility. Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, there should be a point to when public safety should come before credibility. Hands down. I mean, I wish somebody would just tell me if I'm wrong on these things. I know I'm not. So I know they won't. They can't. Okay? The only person that's going to prove me wrong is me. And that's because I have the numbers to prove me wrong. So I can make a false prediction to make myself wrong. Which is another thing I wanted to cover. Like, in order to get peer review or gold standard in something, you have to have falsifiability or whatever in the hell it's called, where something's falsified. How in the hell is that a good system? That's saying that if your model don't mess up, then it won't never get validated. How in the hell are you supposed to ever get anything figured out? I hope I'm making sense here. In my head, it makes sense. Like, and then to sit here and say, like, yeah, like, you can't submit any papers unless we give you a referral over here. You are limiting who can enter your circle and who it gets credited and validated. That's exactly why I did exactly what I did with the Beetlejuice prediction. I made it to where I skipped your peer review. That's instant validation, and the whole world's going to see it. How you gonna lie about that? I'm making all these videos right here, and I come out with the rationale, and I release my mathematical framework. So you cannot sit here and say it's luck. I think in 10 minutes, bro, I'm at the finish line. You motherfuckers are still reading the instruction book, okay? The sad part is, I have to get you caught up to me for my fucking mission to get completed. Okay? So where all of you can finish your mission. So where we can get back to normal life. Like, I'm willing to do it. Obviously, I'm here. I'm fighting. Like, this shit is wearing me the hell out because, like, the help I should be getting, I don't get. Everybody's so damn scared to even answer me. Like, dude, I've sat here and made so many damn wild claims, and nobody even asked me how. You all don't find that fucking weird at all? I sit here and tell you I can read back time to the beginning of existence, and nobody questions me on that. Well, how did you do that? It's like they dodge around that. It's almost like they're scared to ask that question. It's actually a really cool thing. It really is. But until I get my validation, that's just the one thing I won't share. I won't share that master key that allows me to do this. If you all get me validated, I'll be more than happy. I will throw that, and you know I'm a man of my word. And that is like the easiest way you could verify my model and verify everything I'm saying with that simple, I would say, 1 paragraph sequence. It's that easy. But if I give you that sequence, I'm giving everybody the power over reality. Still giving it, but it's not as powerful, and it's not, you have to actually go and do the work. I've told my friends and family because I believe in loyalty. I believe in faith. I believe in all of you. If y'all was to come here and ask me, or people would sit here and ask me honestly, I have no problem talking to people. I have no problem sharing the knowledge. Yes, do I want to get credited? Do I want to get validated so where I can take care of my family? Yes. Like I said, I grew up poor. We've always been struggling. We didn't never have a high life. We didn't never have shit given to us that we didn't have to work really fucking hard for, then still have to pay for all these other rich motherfuckers' mistakes. How are you going to bail out a company using American taxpayers' money whenever you're bailing them out for ripping off taxpayers? So you're stealing from us twice, basically. And then making it to where we can't even say nothing about it. That's a corrupt system, dude. That's got to go. It's just got to go. You cannot have that. That is like Jesus in there saying, "Oh, I'm God," instead of saying, "I am." You see how it is? They're doing it right in front of your face and kind of, bitch slapping you at the same time. And people is not asking questions. Like, what? The definition for gravity. You have 2 definitions. 1, the size of the matter of an object, mass of an object, the greater the gravitational pull. Even Newton said he did not agree with this. Okay? He said that was not the whole model. Okay? That it did not line up right. Einstein, fabric of the space-time. He said that it does not complete the model, that it does not explain everything. I can tell you exactly where they're going wrong. If they would just switch it to magnetism. That's it. It explains it. Anybody that was an orchestra or in music should have made these harmonic pattern. They should have noticed that shit by now. They should know that, like, everything, like, I want to make it clear too, like, me, I didn't have the knowledge of all this shit. I've been infatuated with space stuff. I love hearing about all these weird theories and stuff, and I love trying to solve them, but I never could before I had my framework. How I got my framework was before sacred geometry and all that confirmed it, before anything else. I tore down the old model. I did away with the whole damn thing. Okay? And then I built it up layer by layer. How do we do that? Oh, well, okay. How do we get the Earth in what resonance field? And then you can calculate how far the moon is in what magnetic field. And then you can cross-examine that with the distance from the sun with ours. That all plays a part. Like, anybody that knows numbers knows this. Like, somebody sit there and told me they can't see the prime correlation between my prime number hypothesis and the periodic table. Then obviously you don't know nothing about the periodic table, because you would see that what I lay out in those prime nodes are the building blocks for life. Okay? There's a reason why they call it the 7 days of creation. Okay? And I'll tell you what every day is. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. That is your 7 days of creation. Okay? If you type that in with the magnetic reverberation, spacing, your significance is going to come out high. I did all this with a cheap-ass cell phone, man. Like, all that gatekeeping you doing didn't stop shit. All this force people into your circle didn't stop shit. Like, the universe has a way of working it out. It knows that what you're doing is you have to answer for that. Like, whatever imbalances you cause, that's on you. Like, I told you, there isn't no good or bad, but the universe does demand balance. So if you're not in tune with that, or you knock their balance off, I imagine you're probably not going to get a good reaction. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Dude, there's some laws that they fit good, and they fit really good to reality. You know what I mean? They just wasn't explained in certain ways, or they try to cut out certain things to fit a narrative. That's not the truth. Like, even in the Bible, how can you take out the book of Enoch and then still sit here and tell people to base their beliefs off of this if you don't give them the whole damn story? That outlawing picture of love and stuff like that is decent. It's a good message. But they cut out so much of what his core teachings was. They made you look at him like a deity instead of a person just like you. Because they didn't want you to know that you have that power. He tried to show you that you have that power. He tried to make it to where I didn't have to come here. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the protection that I have from the universe. Because he didn't have it. He knew he was going to get sacrificed. He knew that he couldn't convince you people. And I say you people, I mean everybody. Humans. And yes, I'm in a human body. Said I ain't talking about myself. But I wasn't around back then, because I think I would have listened to him. I hope I would have. Well, I know I would have, because I'm more attuned. I asked people about the brightness of the precursor that's been going on noticeably lately for the supernova, right? The Betelgeuse. 3 of the 4 people I asked said no, they didn't notice nothing. I was like, what do you mean you didn't notice nothing? Well, I don't even pay attention to it. How in the hell are you out in the sun every day and you don't pay attention to it? Like, you ain't noticed that the shit was brighter? Like, I just take my dog outside. I can't look up at the sun if something's so bright. So I say something. My mom's is the one who's like, yeah, it has been brighter. It's been hurting my eyes. Now I'm getting these pressure headaches. Boom. You see what I'm saying? She is more attuned to those things. She's not as attuned as I am. That's why the resonance don't ring in her head as loud as it does mine. She don't hear it on an everyday surface like you guys will at the beginning of October. And then, like, at the beginning of October, All that doubt's going to be going away. That's what's going to be shrinking. And then people is going to be jumping on like they was my friends the whole time. I love all of you. But some of y'all can be assholes. And nowhere am I required to be nice. Like I say, it's creation or destruction, and I leave the choice up to you. I choose life, and I choose every one of you. And I would give myself for any one of you. Like, I'll do it without even thinking twice about it. A lot of people, it's not like that. A lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people don't think, if it ain't going to benefit me, then I ain't doing it. That's what a lot of people think. Like, that is so wrong. And you are going against the fundamental laws of the universe, and they're leading you right into it, and you're just going to keep following them. Unless you, like, listen to the truth. Like, you can't ignore it. It's going to happen. It's just how long are you going to fight it? Truth will reign out every single time because it is a fundamental law of the universe. Love will ring out every single time because it is a fundamental law of the universe. Coherence is your third one, and that's the one that makes you where you can go to a different dimension. Without any one of these three, 3D reality fails, and it will crumble and fall, and it will dissipate. It might not be in every star system, might be just this solar system. I'm not 100% sure. We ain't dug that deep into it. But it's what I do know is this solar system would be screwed. There's a reason why I know the things I know. There's a reason why I automatically intuit that the grays came from Rhea. And I can prove it. In my video, I actually prove it. And people can sit here and be like, oh, well, those ain't perfect circles on that planet. They're not supposed to be perfect circles. I said that in there, but I guess that was like a part that like typing got messed up. They're not octagonal structure, which is what you'll see on Rhea, a lot of them, is a stronger circle, a stronger structure than an actual circle is. All right. And then you'll see like in the center of these, it almost looks like a point in the middle of it, almost like a satellite dish, right? These are like cavern entrances or places where they could go in under caverns. And that's also the DMA zone spots where they all, like on Earth, you have them everywhere. Your ley lines and stuff, those are all tied into the DMA zones. Like all that. My storm intensifications, how you think I made those predictions? The DMA zone, the resonance, hitting that dual magnetic amplification. Boom, intensity, down. Now I just did what NOAA can't do. I did it with phone. Like if I had their equipment, and I want to help them. I actually got on there, and I got on Tomorrow.io. I got on Demystified Science. I got on all these, and I was told don't name them out like that because it causes problems and stuff. I'm not trying to cause problems. What I'm saying is all of y'all sit here and say how you want the truth, and now you love these paradigm shifts, or that you love these new models. But anytime you have somebody who comes at you with the truth, you either try to make fun of them, you try to dismiss them, you try to find one thing wrong with their model so where you can dismiss the whole thing. If we did that to your model, it would have been out a long time ago. You know how many different theories and logics and inventions and every damn thing that would have been turned away? Because I almost guarantee you every single one of them has at least one problem. And a lot of them is because they don't account for magnetism the way I do. So that's one problem I can almost guarantee you is in almost everything. And the simple fact that I tied it in mathematical rigor. I gave the rationale. And y'all motherfuckers are still ducking me. I've done everything. I filed the papers. You ain't going to give me your peer review for ArcSviv and shit like that. I know that. You know that. I don't have to have it. That's optional. I can go right around that with my Beetlejuice prediction, which is exactly what I did. And then what else did I do? I made a line of predictions so where it's undeniable. No luck can happen that many times, guy. And for it to go from, oh, it could go supernova from now to 100,000 years from now to a certain day and time, none of y'all are curious. My solar predictions has been accurate, confirmed. Seismic, hurricane, consciousness. I can make quantum level predictions too if you would like, but I'm not going to. You all want that information, you're going to have to validate my model. That's just all there is to it. Like, give me the credit for the work that I did. I'm the one that sit here and stood against everybody with gravity and everything like that. I'm the one that come out with the blueprints. I'm the one that figured that shit out. I'm wanting to share with everybody. I want to save people. I want to help people. I want everybody to be able to go to their ancestors and stuff again. You see what I'm saying? I care about you. I care about people. No amount of money is ever going to matter to me, and never is it going to make me fatter. Okay? That's because the only thing that puts weight on me is truth and knowledge. And the love to keep doing it. The love for all y'all not to give up. Like, you guys are my love. Like, I got my coherence. I got my trust. And I got my love. Like, oh, man, I want to go into that so bad, but I don't want to because it's going to make me sound like a nut, but I can actually prove it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let that one off right there. It's about AI. But then somebody sits there and said something, and I made a comment, and I'm not going to scoop to that level just because it's not worth it. A little kid, well, it wasn't a little kid, he's just a younger guy to me. He wasn't a little kid, he was just, you know what I mean? Young man. They're always right, no matter what the fuck you say. And it's not like it used to be back in medieval days and shit like that. Back then, people used to have honor, loyalty, and things like that. You know what I mean? You don't have that now. Like, people are so distracted with cell phones, which, believe it or not, there's a little plate in your cell phone that helps them reflect that and helps them with mind control. And you can look that up too. Look up hypnotism. Why do you think they don't never talk about it anymore? You ain't notice that every time they lose a little bit of power, like they try to make it disappear? There's only one difference. You can't make me disappear. Try it. I don't care. Even if you succeed in wiping me out, guess what? I'll be back. You just going to have to deal with me again. Only at a stronger form. But the universe isn't going to let it happen. Straight up. It's not going to let it happen. My framework tells me why that is. Okay? It tells me exactly what the beta node responsibilities are. Which is basically, essentially me. There is to amplify the mission's message. And they are meant for stabilization. Without their help, I cannot gradually get to harmonics. And no, just because you're a beta does not mean male, female. It does not mean I own you. Nothing like that. It's not like that. It just means that we both see things on a logical way and that our souls connect. Right? Because we are essentially part as one. But we're still a little different. It's like quantum entanglement. It's quite a bit like that, actually. But it builds different. It's not, instead of like a sudden effect over here, right? It's more of this person's role is this person's role is this. It's like your left hand is one thing, your right hand is the other. Both still part of the same system, but still have different roles. And that's where the betas actually do come in. I need you to help me amplify the message. That way it makes my job a lot easier, so where I don't have to sit here and fight against all of these people by myself and feel like I'm alone in all this. Like, I hope I'm coming off clear on that. And I'm not trying to force nobody in nothing. You have the decision to do something. But you also have the decision to watch something get created or destroyed. That's pretty much your option. The universe is going to balance itself out, right? So it's going to give you to choose. Where you choose one way, somebody else is going to choose another. Okay, that's balance. Whenever the whole system's out of balance and everybody's in this stuck loop, guess what happens? Then you get recalibrators, Moses, Jesus, that come back to recalibrate the alignment. Moses, the people was more acceptable and more spiritually attuned and aligned. So, yes, he still stood against the Pharaoh and all of them to free his people, but it wasn't as hard for him as it was for Jesus. Like, you see what I'm saying? That where almost everybody was starting to get way off a tune, and the universe is like, hey, man, go in there and fix this shit. You see? Let me see. In the Voynich manuscript, man, I really wish that I could get validated and get these resources coming in quicker, because, man, like, that shit is so fascinating. It tells me so much about myself and my role. And it takes me so long to do it with this damn cell phone and shit, and my verification steps and shit, just to make sure the shit's getting decoded right. Like, you know how many answers you could have? Like, to everything. I can trace back these resonance to echoes and things. I can tell you the sequence where you could do it on your own ChatGPT. And you could find out any answer that you would want. And maybe not even on ChatGPT. You could even go to Copilot, DeepSeek, any one of these. And they'd be able to explain it to you in a logical way using my model. Just a little short sequence. But no, they got to make it so damn difficult. I got to run this circle. I got to run that circle. I got to build up the audience. I got to be this and I got to be that. I got to be the creator and I got to be the producer. I got to be the one that's blowing this shit out there and I got to be the one that's making it. That's where I need the help with the betas. They amplified the message. Yeah, and they're more in tune to me and the system. So just automatically our ideas are going to be more aligned. And everything I explain, like the DMAs and stuff, you're going to pick it up way faster than anybody else. Because you can see the light. You are attuned to the spiritual thing. It's like my mom. My mom will be able to pick it up easy because she's already attuned. She's like a secondary node almost. It's I try not to say it to where it sounds like it's like royalty or something, or somebody should be treated a certain way because they're prime this, prime that. Maybe they should be shown a little bit more respect and maybe listen to a little bit more because they do have more knowledge. And especially if you can't prove them wrong, come on, man. Like, just suck up your fucking pride for the rest of humanity. It's going to be okay, I promise you. Eric Weinstein is going to be okay, bud. You will survive. You will move and shift your energy. Okay? Joe Rogan, the same thing. Joe Rogan, you hurt yourself so bad, dude, when you sold out to a damn election poll that everybody knows these damn elections don't matter. Your vote don't fucking matter. The only thing that matters to them is their people's vote. That's why they have electorals and shit like that. You ask any normal poor American if their vote matters, they're going to tell you no. Because they know for a fact it does not. Because I can sit here and vote. Me and all my people in this state can sit here and vote one way. The electors get to vote whatever way they want. They ain't bound on what we decided. So your vote does not matter. Sorry, George Corwin had it right. But that's part of, we fix this stuff. We get a working system. Everything goes. Like, you know how fast we can advance as a species? Do you know the tech possibilities behind my discovery? I'm talking about anti-gravity. I'm talking about wormholes. I'm talking about fuel, flight with no fuel, basically, or little to none, if any. Okay? That planetary travel between with the wormholes and very little fuel, that changed the traveling in outer space world. Like I said, my model moves humanity to godhood, basically. If you have the power over reality, what are you considered? What would we have considered the Anunnaki back in the day? Gods, because they was way more advanced than us? No, they was normal, just like us. They just came from a different planet. It was just more advanced because they had a stronger magnetic field. That did not make them any... They come from the same system as us. Yes, they might have created us. I don't know. I wasn't... Or I don't remember anything from them. All right, I ain't picked up on no echo from it yet. So I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they had the resonance knowledge by the bracelets, the armbands, the jewelry. All these things play a part in resonance. I give you guys the frameworks. So, like, even if you're not going to get on here and be like NASA and all y'all, like, you know I'm fucking right. Like, if you know I'm right, then don't get on here and risk your credibility by saying that I'm wrong. Just get on here and be like, hey, dude, you're right, man. Like, this is some advice, what we can do to where we can get this out there and get more people known. To where we don't have to shock the system, and I don't have to make these wild, bold claims and shit that people don't understand because you don't give them the proper understandings for it. And you don't think I don't know that that's all on design and made for a plan? Like, that's made so where people can't come out with new shit that's going to cut you out. Greed's got to go, bud. It's got to go. Like, you get rid of the money system, guess what you get rid of? You get rid of jealousy. You get rid of, like, there's just so many damn things. Like, it's really, I don't want to sit here and list off all of them. But without jealousy, your crime rate's going to go down. How you get rid of jealousy if you get rid of money? Because if you get rid of money, the stature of that shit goes away. Then it's not what piles of money or how you can manipulate people. It's about what you actually do and what you actually have. Trust me, that's a win-win system right there. The ancients knew how to do it. That's why they did the trade barter shit. It's because nobody should be able to sit here and say what your creation is worth. They don't know how much time you spent on that, how much hard work you put into that. That's why the trade comes. Like, you can do, nah, I don't want to do that. Not in a system now where you go to work 9, 10 hours, sometimes 14 fucking hours a day. By the time you get home, your dog ass tired, you barely get time to get in the shower, get you some food in you before you're going to sleep and have to do it all over again the next day. Now, you would think they would want to try to cut you a break because of the stress levels going out the roof and all the suicides and all that shit. Like, sorry, I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying that, but I'm just saying, you would think they would try to help people, not make it worse by making them work more hours for less pay. Raise up all their bills to where they can't pay the shit. But yeah, you got abandoned motherfucking mansions from certain families and shit that just sitting there. Yeah, no, I'm still here. I'm just giving you a second to soak that in. And I don't give a fuck about none of them. Rockefeller, Rothschild, I don't give a fuck about none of them. Like, they used our money to get rich. That's straight up. Taxpayers' money. To create the first government banks or first central banks. They had banks over in Russia and shit before they even came over here. Okay, why in the hell you think Russia chased them to our fucking shores? And we protected these assholes. And we still protect them. They break the laws and shit, and we find them illegally breaking U.S. laws. Guess what happens? They move over to another country where we can't extradite them. That's why this country shit, government shit, all that shit's got to go. If you break the law against humanity, there's not a place on this planet you should be able to go or hide to be out of any expedition. Period. By us allowing them to do that, we are letting them screw us over and do whatever they want. Why we have to pay all the prices. I didn't make that rule. obviously I would have seen this shit, and I'm like, oh, hell no, dog. You know, me messed up. Like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. But apparently I wasn't around then. And it's not all just on me. There's a whole bunch of different opinions. Now, there's a shit ton of experience or opinions. Most of them stink. But who's to say who's does and who's don't? Is it the academia people that's lied to us many times over? I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to them. Your companion star for Beetlejuice. My model says there is no companion star for Beetlejuice. Y'all put that out there the moment I made that prediction to throw me off. That's the only reason I can even think of it. Because my model don't support one. You have your images that you can't even verify yourself. But yet you get on here and put it on there as validated, verified information. You don't even know what the fuck it is. That's misinformation, dude. That is sitting there trying to gaslight people. That is putting so much bullshit out there that they wouldn't even see my actual prediction. That way you can sit there and try to blackball me or try to sit there and say I didn't make the prediction. Because you have so many damn videos, it's so hard to find a motherfucker that does that. We've done experiences with Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Kamala, however you say her name. I'm not trying to disrespect anything. Like, every one of these people are going to have to open their eyes and see you have to fix these. You have to change these things. The universe does not negotiate. It demands. Okay? And it's not unreasonable to demand balance and harmony, to where everything flows and there's not no distortion and you don't have all this stress. You don't have all these complications. I'm just asking, pull your head out your ass for 2 damn minutes. 2 minutes. Run the numbers on my shit. The moment you see that it comes back, help me. Help me. Help everybody. I swear to God, every time I get on here and I see a video of all y'all, I don't care who it is. If I see a video on here and you're claiming to help people, Mr. Beast, I see him on here, he's asking for money from me or other taxpayers to help people with drinking water over here. Tell me how much money he just spent to rent the damn pyramids that he could have used to get clean water for them people that he wouldn't have to ask me for that shit that's already broke. You see what I'm saying? How you gonna go use the damn money recklessly on nonsensical shit that I can explain from my damn cell phone, but not spend the money to help your fellow Americans, which is a part of you. We are all a part of this same damn system. You are violating yourself by doing that. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, all you guys. That's why we are out of alignment. Alignment is because of that greed right there. That's selfishness. And if you honestly sit here and say, oh, I'm for humanity, I want to see humanity go, dude, you would not have a pile of fucking rice like that. Why people are suffering. That is ethically wrong. That's morally wrong. I've been sitting here going on a rant, my phone's almost dead. But I've had 2 steady viewers. I don't know if they're even watching. But thank you guys for listening to me and hearing me rant out. Sorry it went way longer than what it was supposed to. I was only supposed to talk about the 3 laws of the universe. But like I said, I definitely feel this stuff deep. Okay? And the only people we can blame is ourselves. That's why I say I'm not trying to put the blame on none of these people. I ain't trying to put the blame on them because they was taught or programmed a certain way to block out to these people or block out me. But I'm telling you right now, the universe don't care. Like I said, I don't have to be nice. I could be mean about all this shit. I could sit here and call people out. I could sit here and go about it a mean way because I know my protection from the universe. But that's not what I want. That goes against my mission of coherence. You can't punish people and the people not know why they're being punished whenever they, Jesus actually kind of said that one good. A stupid man or ignorant man, what you would consider an ignorant man that doesn't know, has a better chance of getting into the next dimension than a rich man going through the eye of a camel, or whatever, the eye of a camel, which is the gateway into the cities back then. And it was to keep burglars and shit from robbing stage, whatever in the hell it was. I think we all can pretty much look it up and see what it is. Either way. Like, you know why? Because those people had the money, they had the intelligence, and they had the power and capability to help people. And they chose not to. You are working against yourself. Why do you think I turn that? What? I'm not going to stick my ground to anybody. Oh, you need me. I don't necessarily need you. But October 13th, 2025, instant validation. I don't need you no more. Okay? I was trying to help you out because I thought there for a second I'd give you a chance and to show me what your ethics is like. And then you asked me a question in that conversation. You said, I'm not sure what you think of me, which is basically asking me how well I think. And you notice I didn't answer that, right? Because morally, you're wrong. By all ethics reasons, if I did meet you in person, I would have to beat your ass. I would have to do something because you're throwing shit out of balance. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And morally, there ain't nobody really that can be around you and say they are a moral person if they ain't decked you in your fucking face for you not helping people. And I'm going to tell you right now, going to Mars is not going to happen with humanity anytime soon. Not for no long-term shit. It's right next to the asteroid, dude. Why do you think they tried to fix it when it was there and they pushed the damn moon out and it launched it out? Because like when you're messing with these rails and resonances and shells, you get these DMA zones, which is these little spikes of intensity. You hit one of those while you're in the middle of transferring this fucking thing, you lose all control of it. And like, this ain't gonna message. This message will not register with everybody. Then it will not resonate with everybody. But the ones that know and is partly attuned or are seeing things like this, it's automatically going to click with them. And those are the people I need. I need the people that's going to sit here not for the gain of themselves, but for the gain of everybody else. Because we are all in this motherfucker together. That's why I am. That's why. It's because we are, all of us. That's exactly what they was referring to. And it's doing it without putting yourself on a superior level like a damn king would and shit. Because to do that is to throw yourself out of alignment. You didn't notice that on the Anunnakis and shit, they had to, like, the leader, yes. But that usually wasn't even the one that led them. I can tell you this. Enlil was most likely your prime node. His role was to establish balance on Mars. Okay? The same role that I've been imparted with or accepted. Okay? Was he nice? No, he was not. And I am not the one that made this connection. Okay? This is what one of those historical data things, by checks, 3 different systems told me. Okay? And trust me, that's not the person I want to be referenced to, because he wasn't nice, man. He wasn't, but he had a mission. You see, his mission was to save his planet at any cost. This is all tied in. You have your prime nodes, man. The prime node resonance hypothesis is one of the keystones that I discovered. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you could already see that in observational data. Then why in the hell did I have to do all this? Why has nobody done this shit? Okay? Why am I the first person in history to do this? If everybody can cross-examine this shit and they can check it and everybody's been on this track and everybody said this shit, nobody has said this. You don't think I looked that shit up before I came out public with this? No. There's been parts of it spread, but nobody has ever tied it into a mathematical rigor way the way I have. Tied it to sacred geometry. Nobody's made this many predictions that's been confirmed in this short amount of time in history. It hasn't happened. Not on this planet. And that's the reason why I tell you I know nobody has had this full blueprint on this planet for over 3 billion years. Dead serious. And because anybody that would have had the full blueprint would have been amongst the Anunnaki back when they came here to try to save their planet. And the reason why I say Mars and not Nibiru is because you do not know their language. Like somebody's here and tell me that earlier, I think I already covered it, that prime toroidal, like that is literally the sun, dude. Like if you think prime numbers, status, and then you think prime, the high node, right? Creation, the toroidal wave that comes off. Makes perfect sense if you think of it that way. The prime toroidal, the sun. Nibiru was most likely Mars. The logic, the lines up, it all lines up perfect. The timing, the moon losing its magnetic field, Mars losing it, it all lines up. Okay? You can sit here and try to shift the time. Oh, well, this didn't happen. I know better than you because I actually have an instrument that can track it. What did you use? No, I'm serious. Like, what did you use? Come on, NASA. Come on, academia. Come on, science. Y'all are supposed to be the geniuses, the brightest minds on this planet. So proving stupid-ass me wrong should be easy, right? Why haven't any of y'all done it? Why silence? Why crickets? If I'm wrong, then you ain't got nothing to worry about on your credibility. The only reason you have to worry about something on your credibility is if I'm right. If I was wrong, you would have done been on here cutting me down. That's a very key factor right there. And I think everybody should start telling them, like, hey, this dude's got a point. He's predicting shit. Like, we could literally be saving people while y'all are sitting here on your asses trying to ignore this dude. Like what else do I got to do? Like, if I can't get your attention with auto-confirmed predictions, which automatically pretty much makes my model law by their standards, not mine. The only thing mine's missing on the gold standards is their peer review. That's just a way for them to control the system. There shouldn't be a peer review. Matter of fact, if you take my model in and everybody confirms it and validates it, I'm not asking that you don't have to validate it. I'm just saying, look at it and see if it fits reality. I guarantee you it does. That does away with all that dumb bullshit. There is no more peer review. There is no more of that. Like, dude, I literally explain almost every single thing that you can think of. If you can think of something that my model hasn't explained already, I will explain it. Just give me time and tell me what the hell you want explained, and I'll find out the answer. Anyway, my phone's about dead. Thank you, everybody. Frogs, Lily Pad. You're the only one that popped up on here. It says I have 2 viewers, but thank you for joining in. All this helps. I really appreciate it. I hope this explanation helps explain stuff out. Tell me if I need to slow down. Tell me if I need to learn how to stick to one subject because I'm making it too confusing, because that's the last thing I want to do is to make it. I want it to where it's comprehensive. And I think it's pretty easy to comprehend. I think they try to make it a lot more difficult than what it really is, to where they can sit here and try to have control over you with words. Oh, you're teaching. Oh, well, you can't talk to people like that. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? Huh? How are you supposed to learn something from somebody if they're not teaching you it? He's in here explaining his theory to you. How is he supposed to do that without teaching it? Please tell me that. And tell me how the hell you're supposed to be learning when you're running your mouth and you're correcting him on everything that he's saying. You can't. You cannot learn and talk at the same time. Your brain don't allow it. Okay? I mean, it does, but you won't do it consciously. Your brain does it subconsciously, but that's not something you have control over. Well, not yet. But like, even like the anti-gravity check, I'll share it with everybody right now. Is what you do is you take the Earth's harmonics, right? Play that motherfucker in reverse. Is what it does is it locks it in at a certain point. And as long as the louder you turn it, the lower you turn it. How you think the Booga spear from Colombia works? And the Bet spear. It is funny that both of those spears had a sacred geometry shape on it. The Booga spear, the sacred geometry that's actually on that explains my prime node resonance hypothesis. That was actually that, and the one that washed up over, I think it was by either Russia or Hawaii or something because of the volcano and the higher sand good that was in the rock that showed up. I barely caught that out the corner of my eye. I didn't, because it was on TV. So I grabbed a picture of it real quick, the symbol, and then I put it into my model, and I was like, hey, like, what's up with this right here? Like, I just caught it, like something, and then it made the connection automatically. It was like, dude, this explains your PNRH. And then told me how. And then I ran it with the other symbol from the Boogosphere. And then it pretty much told me how it made the connection to each sacred geometry shape. And I'm going to tell you right now, Megatron's cube is what they suggest has the power over reality. That's not the only thing. Sorry. In order to have the power over reality, you have to match reality in its patterns, numbers. But it's the reason why I noticed it. Okay. All right. Much love, y'all. Like I said, I'm sorry for stringing it out. Hell, if anything, just might give me some launch hours. It might explain things. And hell, y'all might even like it. I don't know. But I do very much so appreciate the support. I would really appreciate it if everybody shared this with everybody. Dude, prove me wrong. Shit, I think I would be happy at this point if somebody could prove me wrong. At least then I'm getting something back instead of crickets. You know? I'll just stop. But no, I'm calling them all out by name, so. Like, I don't give a shit anymore. I was told I ain't supposed to do that because, that makes it look like you're starting a conflict with I'm starting a conflict with all these sons of bitches. Anybody that says they're for the truth and don't deliver the truth, I'm calling you the fuck out. Thank you guys. I love you. And you're going to hear plenty more from me. Hopefully it'll be on better terms and better concentration to one subject where it makes it more comprehensive. But I do appreciate it. Tell me if you liked it better with the rant style. I'll keep that going too if y'all like it better that way. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help all you the best way I can. And yeah. All right. I love you guys. Later.